So a lot of people ask me, how I stay fit. And I've done a lot of stuff. For people who don't know, you may have seen me in Made in India. I don't know if you saw me in Made in India or you saw any movies that I did. I've never done a Kannada film, but I've done a lot of other languages. And I've done a lot of sporting activities. So I started sports, competitive sports, when I was a child. I started swimming at the national level at the age of 9. Okay, so I was really lucky that my parents understood the importance of balance. Studies, of course, because all Indians insist that their children must study, and that's a fantastic thing. But all Indians don't understand that children must play sport. But my parents understood that, and I was really lucky that they encouraged me. And I was able to swim at the national level for 14 years. I was able to represent India in swimming. I was able to be national champion in my event. And that, I can't overestimate the value that those 14 years have had for me as a person. It is just impossible to explain. But I've always been fit. I've enjoyed being fit. And like I was explaining to somebody earlier, it's impossible to explain what it means to be fit. The feeling, you can't explain it. You have to do it, you have to achieve it, then you feel it, and then you love it. I'll just give you a small example. I've been fit, like I said, since I was a child. But when I got to the age of about 38, 39, I was always active. I never went to the gym. I never worked out in the gym. I didn't exercise. I don't like closed spaces. I like open spaces. But in 2003, the Mumbai Marathon was announced, the first Mumbai Marathon. And I said, I know the story of the marathon. Very inspiring story about this guy, Philippides, who ran in Greece many, many thousands of years ago. The Greeks were fighting against the Persians in a place called Marathon. The battlefield was called Marathon. And the Greeks won. They pushed out the Persians. And this guy, Philippides, he ran all the way back to Athens, which is a distance of more than 40 kilometers, to announce that we have won. And he died. He ran all the way back, and he died. So it became a very inspiring story. And that's how the marathon actually started. So I'd heard this story since I was a child, when I was a child. And I always thought that, every man must run a marathon once in his life. I mean, I was a child, but it's like, I felt this is a rite of passage. Unless you run a marathon, you're not a man. But as a child, you can discount that. But it's like the Maasai in Africa, if you know. The Maasai is a tribe. And they have a rite of passage that when a boy achieves manhood or wants to be called a man, he has to kill a lion with his bare hands or with a spear, but just with his hands. And unless he does that, he cannot be called a man. Imagine. So this story really inspired me. And I said, I didn't actually like running at that time. I was like, it's very boring and monotonous. What is this? Just going on and on, 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers. It doesn't seem to have any meaning. Because even in my swimming days, I was a sprinter. My event was 100 meters and 200 meters, and that's it. So I didn't really like running. Even when I was training as a swimmer, the coach used to say before swimming, go and run 3-4 kilometers, part of your dry land exercise. And we used to pretend, even my friends who were swimmers in the camps, we used to go and hide somewhere and come back and say, okay, that was a good run. What's next, coach? So I didn't like running. But when the Mumbai Marathon was announced, I said, this is my opportunity. I mean, this has come to my city, Mumbai. I have to take advantage of this. I will run a half a marathon first, which is 21 kilometers. And everyone at that time, so this is exactly 20 years ago. And at that time, everybody told me, come on, you're almost 40 years old, You're going to run 21 kilometers. I mean, Europeans are different. The weather is different. Their genes are different. Their food is different. In India, we can't do this. It's so hot. This is Bombay, You'll overheat. You'll get cramps. You'll be dehydrated. You'll faint. You'll die. So I was thinking all that. I said, anything is possible. I don't know. 21 kilometers is a lot. And I had not run more than maybe 3-4 kilometers Like most people, you can run 2-3 kilometers. Anybody can do that. I hope, 2 or 3 kilometers should be possible. But I said, okay, let me try this, even though whatever these people are saying and making it more scary for me. So I trained for about 3 months. And I trained up to about 15, 16 kilometers. So I was always worried about what's going to happen in the last 5 or 6 kilometers, That's the challenge. The last 5 kilometers is the challenge. But on the day, I ran 21 kilometers and I completed it very comfortably. I mean, I was shocked. I was amazed. I said, I'm close to 40. Most people, and me also at that time, were thinking, 40, I'm old now. Half my life is gone. I mean, that's the attitude that most people have in our society. I mean, even abroad, it's like that. It's not just India. At the age of 40, people think active life is over. Now you start slowing down, and eventually you die. But when I did that, and I said, that is amazing. I could run 21 kilometers at a stretch comfortably. I have to see what more I can do. And of course, the fact that people had, sown the seeds of doubt in my head, like, okay, you're too old, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. And I said, no, I can. Let me see if I can do 25. So then I did 25. Then I said, let me see if I can do 30. I did 30. Then I did the full marathon, which was 42 kilometers. Then I did 50. Then I did 100. Then I did 160. Then finally, in 2012, I ran from Delhi to Bombay in 30 days. Yeah, it's crazy. You're clapping because I'm crazy. So then I thought that, running from Delhi to Bombay, it's not necessary, It's not something that you need to do. I proved it to myself. I can run from Delhi to Bombay in 30 days. 50 kilometers every day for 30 days. I said, that's fantastic, but now I'll dial it down a bit. 42 kilometers, 50 kilometers, that's enough for me, right? So I learned, I was always a sports person. But what I learned later on, after the age of 38, after the age of 40, now after the age of 50, it's very important to keep challenging yourself. A lot of speakers today and a lot of conversations we have every day are about what do we want from life? What is the purpose? And whether money is important or what is important. And of course, everybody knows that they want to be happy. Right? But what is happiness? Can anybody tell you what is happiness? Nobody can tell you what is happiness. We're not taught in school. I was having a conversation earlier also. We're taught in school how to get a job. So jobs in our mind become very important. Money, as we were also discussing, becomes very important. You have to make money. You have to get a job. You have to be stable. You got to be secure. All of that becomes important. But finally, and as we also discussed, is money the most important thing? Are the richest people the happiest people? No, they're not. We know that. Are the most famous people the happiest people? No. Are the most loved people the happiest people? No. We've seen celebrities who have committed suicide. Loved globally, global icons who have destroyed themselves. So who knows what is happiness? Only you inside know what is happiness. Inside you, what is happiness? Only you decide what is happiness. So I decided, this is something I have to figure out for myself. I understood. So through running taught me all these lessons. I said, if I keep challenging myself, my body and my mind, it keeps me younger, it keeps me energetic, it keeps me loving life, it keeps me capable of enjoying everything that life has to offer. So what is happiness to me? I still don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, this is happiness. But when I run big distances, or when I cycle big distances, so I cycle only once a year, I do 1,000 kilometers in 7 days. Again, to just challenge myself and see, is everything still working? Is my mind working? Is my body working? I challenge myself, and I see that. And I know that as long as I do that, I will be in a space where I can enjoy everything that life has to offer. And that makes me happy. Because when we are children, we are always excited. You know, every day we're excited. What are we going to do today? What are we going to do today? Tomorrow is something new. Tomorrow is something new. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to wake up one day and say, oh, I wanted to go on a trek, but now I can't go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to swim in the sea. I can't. I want to scuba dive. I can't. I don't want to ever wake up one day and say, I can't do this. And what running long distance or cycle long distance or any endurance sport, what it teaches you in your mind is that nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. At any age, nothing is impossible. And that makes me happy. That whatever my age, I'm looking at today because of technology, medical technology and so on, we're looking at increased lifespans going up to 80, 90, 100. But if at the age of 40 we start saying that we're old and what are we going to do and now let the younger generation do it, then why have we increased our lifespan? We have increased the quantity of our life but not the quality. So I don't want to ever lose that. And that's the reason people ask me sometimes, why do you run so much? Why do you exercise? Why do you cycle? Why do you do triathlons? And this is the reason, is that I must keep challenging my body and my mind. And let me tell you why I keep saying mind. Because you think that running is physical, cycling is physical, exercise is physical. It's not physical, it's mental. The reason most people don't exercise is because they cannot make up their mind to do it. The body is capable. But the mind does not direct them. The mind is not saying you have to get up, you have to do this. So for me, that is important. When I run, today also I run marathons. Last Sunday I ran the New York Marathon, which is 42 kilometers. And that is something that keeps me loving life. So my message to you, I mean, usually I don't give messages, is keep challenging yourself. And the easiest way to do that, life is always challenging you. We discussed that also. How life is tough. Life is tough. Today we feel life is easy because of technology. But that's an illusion. Life is not easy. Life is tough. Today we have cars, we've got escalators, we have lifts, we have computers, we've got the internet. But still life is not easy. Life challenges you. How do you deal with challenges? How do you train yourself to deal with challenges? How do you face a challenge? With fear or confidence? So to me, when I challenge myself, voluntarily I choose my challenge, cycle 1,000 kilometers, run 40 kilometers, do Ironman, do Ultraman. It keeps retraining my mind on how to face any challenge that can come and confront me in my life. So my message to you is that life will challenge you. It's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. But if you challenge yourself, you choose your challenges and choose with something that you enjoy. Learn a song, it's a challenge. Learn to play a musical instrument is a challenge. Learn to paint, learn something new. Learn a language. Learning something new is a challenge. Give exams, test yourself physically and mentally. And then anything that you are confronted by in your life, anything, let me tell you, it becomes easier. You don't even consider it a problem. You've already found the solution. You've already found it because you know that you are unstoppable, you're invincible, and nothing is going to beat you. So my message to you is only this. If you haven't started it yet, and that was also the reason I started asking people to do push-ups, especially when they ask for a picture. I hate taking pictures unless I'm paid, you know. If you pay me, I'll take pictures with you. But if there's no payment, then I say to make it more interesting, whoever asks me for a picture has to do push-ups. So 20 push-ups for boys, 10 push-ups for girls. That's the deal. And I meet a lot of people every day, and a lot of them have never done push-ups before. But still they try. And when they try, they learn. Either they can do it or they can't do it. And if they can't do it, then they understand that they need to start doing something. And the reason I chose 20 push-ups for boys is because my mother, who's 85, can do 20 push-ups. And yeah. So I said, if any man cannot do what an 85-year-old woman can do, you need to start thinking about your life. No? So that 20 push-ups becomes a kind of wake-up call. Either you can do it and you begin to enjoy it. Yeah, I can do it. I did 20, maybe I can do 30. Maybe I can do 40, maybe I can do 50. Or I can't do it. I need to start and I need to train and get to 20 or 30 or 40. And let me tell you, there's another scientific research that shows, you can tell me if it's true because you're a cardiologist, that if a person can do 40 push-ups at a stretch, it reduces their risk of stroke by 90%. Is it true? It's true. It reduces your risk of stroke by 90%. What does that mean? What is it? 40 push-ups. So when people ask me what exercises I do, people, of course, assume I'm always in the gym and I'm always exercising. I never go to the gym. I've never been to the gym. I don't like gyms. I said it before. I exercise about 10 minutes every day. Just 10 minutes. And I do stuff like this. So I do one set of push-ups where I do 50, 60 push-ups. I do one set of pull-ups. I do 15, 20 pull-ups. I do some jump squats. I do some yoga. That's all I do. About 10 minutes every day, and I am super fit. But like I said, it's in the mind. Your mind will determine how fit you can be. So that was my message to you. Challenge yourself regularly. Find the challenges. Embrace the challenges. And live an amazing life. I wish you all health and happiness. Jai Hind.